Hey there, V2X Nation and friends. This is Hope Skibitsky, the Learning and Development Manager at V2X. And you're with us here on Converging on Leadership, the place where we use transparency, vulnerability, and lessons learned to develop ties with our leadership to help us better serve all of our internal and external customers.
Hey, podcasters. Can you picture yourself with a challenging, rewarding career as a commercial and defense contractor? Maybe you're already working for V2X and would like to expand your horizons with a new opportunity, or you're interested in getting started with us. V2X is here for you. We have a wide array of job openings, some for those who want to support the United States military warfighters, and for those of you who are interested in the ultra-secure world for one of our country's three-letter agencies. We pride ourselves in developing our employees for future opportunities. Did we mention we have locations and positions all across the globe? If you're interested in a rewarding profession that pays well with competitive benefits, check out our website at gov2x.com/careers.
This is Randy Nicholson, the V2X Director of Talent Management, and he came to us from the Air Force, where he spent 22 years in human resources. So he's been with us now for 18 years. You've traveled the globe, given our employees tools for their leadership toolbox. So, Randy, tell us a little bit about why learning and development is important.
Well, I'll tell you, Hope, after doing it for 18 years, you get this passion. And of course, I had it at the beginning. It just grows as you go. So over the last 18 years, I found that our employees really appreciate being trained on leadership skills, being tended to, like you said, gaining some tools into their toolbox, being able to serve their people better. And that's kind of my reach is I touch the leaders and hopefully they touch their folks, and that works out well. So
that's good. I mean, I think it's always important for us to invest not just in the individual contributor, which is important, but in the leader so they do a better job of taking care of that individual contributor and the mission.
Absolutely.
Yeah, very good.
And our most important asset is our employees. So.
Oh, yeah, I love it. It's good. I mean, people want to work for a place that cares about them as a human.
Right, absolutely.
Right?
Yep.
And you feel V2X gives us that.
I know they do, so that's good.
I love it. I'm relatively fresh here with the company, so I have in my short time felt incredibly well taken care of. I feel like you've done a good job of being my boss and making sure I feel cared for as a human, so thank you for that.
Well, thank you for that compliment. And I want to say, folks out there, Hope comes to us after a long time in the Air Force herself, and it's great to have her on the team. Hope, give just a little bit about yourself, if you could.
Sure, yeah. So I spent the last 28 years in the Air Force, starting as a medic. I did a little bit as a drill sergeant or a military training instructor. I got to be a career assistance advisor, and then I retired as a command chief. So I've been all over the globe and had a ton of fun protecting and defending as an airman.
Great. You can see we got a great asset gaining to our company.
So just curious, why the podcast? Why are we looking to develop people through this means and not maybe a newsletter?
Well, and we want to do a newsletter too. I think that's on the horizon to also roll that out. I think the big thing with the podcast is, we have, 16,000 employees. How do you get those employees to know their leaders? And you can't get a leader, you can't take, a Sue Deagle and put her everywhere across the globe and meet all the employees. So if we do that in a podcast, then you get to learn what our leaders are like and know their passion for our employees too.
That's right. I mean, if I could just draw a parallel, because obviously serving the military, it was very fresh for me, but getting to see your leader at a change of command so that you would know who's driving that train, it makes good sense. And so I like the idea of us being able to sit down and get to know the person behind the email or the company-wide message.
Right. And you're going to get to do that
yes.
as you do these podcasts. And I know people are going to really appreciate this. Stay connected as we roll these out on a monthly basis.
Yeah, I'm excited about that. I like the idea of sort of sitting down and getting to know our leaders. What do you hope comes from the podcast? Like, why do you think it's important for us to connect with leadership?
Well, I think the number one thing I hope comes from the podcast, which is what I've been doing for 18 years, is that it does give some folks some training and leadership skills, gives them a different perspective to consider as they go back and work with their folks, even individual contributors as they're leaders of their functions. How can they roll some of the skills that we're going to bring to them to their work and to their teams.
That's right. I forget who coined it, but there was once an old saying, right, that a smart man or woman learns from his or her mistakes, but a wise one learns from the mistakes of others. And so I think that a lot can be gleaned, not just from the successes, but from maybe some of the potholes that our leaders have stepped in. Give us a little bit of that vulnerability. I'm into that.
Yeah, and folks, you have to understand too that everybody has those pits in their lives.
Yeah, so that's great. How do you see us evolving this podcast? Like, obviously, we're going to start with getting to know some of our leaders, but where do we hope it goes down the road?
Well, so I think our next one, our very next one, is going to be with Carl Sagstetter, who is a great operational leader in our company, and we'll use some of our top leaders to have them come to do these podcasts. Hopefully we'll get to the point where we can start bringing in some other employees so they can share their lessons learned. We have so many employees, great employees that are great at leadership, and we need to kind of, bring them up and let them share some stories. So
yeah. I mean, I think it's great. I know that our experiences shape our perspectives, and so I love the idea that we're going to get a lot of different perspectives so that some of our individual contributors and our independent contributors and some of our managers, directors have the opportunity to maybe glean some leadership insight and build their own toolkits. I think that that's brilliant.
it is.
Yeah.
And you get to lead the way, so that's awesome.
And it's fun. I'm excited about that. So,
as we are.
Randy, it's really good. I'm glad you spent some time with me on here today. It's great getting to see everybody. We look forward to having you join us as we go a little bit into what's coming down the pike in learning and development, and who are we and what do we want to do to take care of all of you.
Absolutely.
Please subscribe to Converging on Leadership on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Find us on LinkedIn at linkedin.com/company/V2X-Inc. And please let us know what you think of our show and what future topics you'd like us to cover. Converging on Leadership is produced by kglobal and brought to you by V2X. V2X transforms operations and sustainment for government and commercial clients worldwide through operational support services, training, and converged environments that integrate physical and digital infrastructures. Learn more at gov2x.com. And until next week, I'm Hope Skibitsky, and thanks for listening.